Today I'm going to cover some handstand push-up variations by changing the tempo. Now I'm really going to focus on the pause at the bottom of the position. So like how you would do in a squat, you come down to the bottom and you'd hold for a certain amount of time and then come back up again. So I'm going to do the same in my handstand push-ups. Now normally in a handstand push-up you would flirt with that bottom position. So you come down to the bottom, we would touch, and then we'd normally go straight back up again. Now that's probably the easiest way to do it. A harder way would be to come down and then hold for time in this position, stay balanced, and then push back up again. Now this can obviously be done with feet up on the wall. It can be done in a deficit, it can be done in a 90-degree handstand push-up, it can be done in a pike handstand push-up. So we can use different variations. You can change the pause, so you could pause for longer or you could pause for less time. In yesterday's training session, I done this and I paused for about 4 to 5 seconds on each one. My hardest variation of the handstand push-up that I can do is the dead press. I can't really use pauses on that because it just starts from a dead position and you push up, but all the other variations you definitely can. So we'll be looking at a controlled eccentric, a pause at the bottom of what I'd recommend 3 to 5 seconds, and then push back up again. And what I recommend you do is the same as what I done yesterday. So just start off with your easiest version of the handstand push-up, something you can do really comfortably. So you could, if you wanted to, pause for something like 10 seconds in an easy position. So something like a pike handstand push-up. So remember, when you do any type of handstand push-up, I'd recommend external rotation, elbows in to create more of a stronger, more stable position, exactly the same as a squat, how you turn the toes out. Pike position, come forwards, so strong foundation in the hands and shoulders, bend the elbows, bring them in, head towards the floor. Then you do your time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, push back out, reset shoulder, then come back down. And then we could just make the variations harder and harder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I say, you could do these up against the wall. Open shoulder position, elbows in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back to there. I don't do what I done, so I trained this yesterday. I'm doing the video today with 0 warm-up. If you're doing a full freestanding version, just remember that balance is one of the main things that you need to work on here. So the weaker your balance is, the more strength you need to use to stay in the position. The better the balance, the less strength you are. So I'm pretty strong in the handstand push-up, but one of the reasons I'm strong in the handstand push-up is my balance is really good in that bottom position. So hang out for longer in the bottom position. So something like a shoulder stand would make sense to hang out and practice that. So you could do it on P-bars or on the stools. So getting very comfortable in those bottom positions is really important. So if you can't hold the shoulder stand like this for time, then you're not going to hold there in the bottom when you do a handstand push-up. You might find that when you add the holds in, you actually have to regress the handstand push-up to something much easier. And it's a good way of highlighting where your weak areas are. So if you can do the hold at the bottom but you can't push back up, that shows you that it's the push back up that you need to work on. If you lose your balance as soon as you try and stop at the bottom, that shows you need to work on that section. Or if you just gas out, then you just need to increase the condition and volume of that particular movement, or back off to an easier one and do more higher repetitions. Now, if you can do the standalone handstand push-ups, you can work further towards the 90-degree handstand push-ups. It's slightly easier if you go into a straddle position. Actually, pushing back up for me isn't much difference. In some ways, I probably find it a little bit harder in a straddle position to push back up, especially after a hold. So straddle position and then straight position. Now, obviously, if you are working 90-degree ones, you can't do this up against the wall. Pauses isn't the only way to play with the tempo. You could just do a real slow eccentric. You could do one where you start at the bottom and push up from there. I've done other videos on that. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions on this one. I'll be interested to know how you guys go with the pauses and how much you have to change your variation of the handstand push-up depending on the pause. Thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated, and I'll speak to you soon. Oh, I've got the press Q&A coming out soon. I just need to do the final edit. That takes a little bit longer than these videos. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, guys.